Welcome back, everybody. This week, we're going to talk about credit. If you have debt, if you've ever struggled paying your bills, your credit score might be something that you've wondered about, but don't worry. I'm going to demystify everything about a credit score today. I'm going to walk you through some tips on how to improve it, and stay to the end because I'm also going to tell you how to get your credit reports for free. I'm also going to give you 7 tips that you can use and implement today to start to increase your credit score. Welcome back. I'm Ian Group, and every week I bring you along a financial journey in order for you to help educate yourself on the ins and outs of money. For as much as I can tell you about money, I want you to have and take away the skills and the knowledge to be able to implement this in your life, because as you might have heard me say before, the decisions that you make today will lead you to be rich tomorrow, but you just need to learn a little bit, and that's why I'm here to help you. So first off, let's talk about credit scores. What are they? So in order to understand what a credit score is, you actually have to understand what a credit report is. Think of a credit report as kind of like a report card with your history of how well you've paid your bills, whether they've been paid on time or not. And all of this gets aggregated into a report, and it's kept in this report. And then through that report, there's actually this calculation that gets done so that lenders or whoever's looking at that report, so that they don't have to actually go through it. That's what the credit score is. It's a 3-digit number that is basically an indication of how you performed within that credit report. And if you don't know this already, your credit score will range from 300 to 850. Why should you care about your credit score? Well, it can have a big impact on your ability to borrow money. Whether you're getting a credit card or a car loan or a mortgage, the better your credit score, the more favorable lenders are going to look at you in terms of borrowing money. And why do they even care? Well, it comes down to risk. How risky are you for them to give you their money and expect to get it paid back? And the riskier you are, the less favorable your terms will be. That's why if you have a low credit score, you might have higher interest rates for car loans or your mortgage, because lenders just think you might not be as good at being able to pay that money back. So that 300 to 850 is a pretty big range. What is actually a good, average, bad credit score? Let's look at the range here. So a fair credit score would be around 580 to 669. A good credit score would be 670 to 739. A very good credit score would be 739 to 799. And then 800 and up is considered to be excellent. But what does this mean? It's just a quick way for lenders to judge your creditworthiness without having to go through the entire credit report. That's all that number means. Okay, so I just gave you a range of all of these credit scores, but is it okay to check your credit score or your report? Does that have any effect on your credit score? The answer when you check your credit report is no. It will not have an effect because this is known as a soft inquiry on your credit. And unlike a hard inquiry, which is recorded on your credit when you apply for a new loan or a credit card, you can check your credit report as often as you wish without any concerns. So next, let's talk about what actually impacts your credit score. The most commonly used method for calculating a credit score is by the company FICO, which stands for Fair Isaacs Corporation. Bet you didn't know that. There are 3 credit bureaus that maintain your entire credit history: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And basically what happens is FICO looks at all of the data in your credit report, and they do some complicated algorithmic transaction. I'm getting a little dizzy from just thinking about it, but they do whatever they do to come up with that 3-digit number that is your score. And look, your credit reports might look a little bit different among each of the reporting agencies, so that's why your credit score might differ depending on where you're getting it from. If we were to summarize what FICO does, there's actually several elements that they look at in terms of how they compute your credit score, and this is public information. So 35% of your credit score is made up by your payment history, how often you make payments on time, whether you're late on those payments. 30% pertains to your available or used credit. So how much of your outstanding credit that you have available to you is being used. If you have one credit card with a $1,000 limit and you are maxed out at $1,000, your utilization will be 100%. And about 30% of your credit score is made up based on your utilization ratio. 15% pertains to how long you've had credit history before. 10% pertains to the mix of credit types you've had and that you're actively using. And then the last 10% is based on the hard inquiries that have been seen across your account. So how many credit cards are you applying for, loans, and so forth. Now, in a minute, I'm going to tell you exactly how to get your free credit reports. But part of all of this is Just the idea of being able to watch what's going on for yourself. It's like budgeting, for example. If you're trying to lower your expenses, you're gonna need to track your expenses every month. It's really important to check your credit report for any errors. It's possible that there might have been things that were incorrectly reported, or there might have even been fraudulent activity on your credit. This is just another reason to make sure you have your credit reports and you periodically check them. And by the way, if you check them and something is wrong, you can submit a dispute to a credit agency. But unless you're checking it, you will have no idea what's on there. With all of this information, when does your credit score actually change? It can change based on when things get reported to the credit bureaus. And that just depends on when your lenders or credit card companies or whatever report those payments to them. And because each lender has different due dates and cycles, it could probably take up to 30 days or so for you to see a change in your credit score. So you might be wondering, how do I change my credit score? How long does it take? How do we actually do it? Well, the longer you've had a bad credit history, the harder it becomes to change your credit score. But I'm gonna give you 7 simple tips right now that can help you along this process. Number 1 is to just simply know your score. You've got to know the landscape. The same way I would tell somebody that if they were looking to budget and track expenses, that they need to go back and look at the last several months of their expenses. You need to understand the entire landscape, and that's just simply going to look at your credit report. And stay tuned, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. Now, the second step is to pay off delinquent accounts. I know this is easier said than done, trust me, but I had $21,000 of credit card debt at one point, and paying this off was a massive benefit to my credit score. I'm gonna link to a video above where I tell you exactly how I did that, but keep your accounts open because that will help your available credit. And as you pay them off, your utilization goes down. But to the extent possible, get those outstanding delinquent accounts paid off. And if you're not already doing this, I would highly recommend that you budget in order to make this more of a predictable process. Number 3 is to pay your bills on time. We talked about how your credit score is composed of your ability to pay bills on time. This is simple. Put bills on auto pay. This comes down to how you manage your money, how you manage your lifestyle. I have everything on auto pay, and I know exactly what I'm going to spend because I track my expenses and I budget. But if you really want to see your credit score go up, you have to start building good habits. And good habits include paying your bills on time. Number 4, I mentioned this before, but you want to try to lower your utilization to about under 30%. So using that example I mentioned before, if we have a credit card with a $1,000 limit, utilization would be 30% utilization would be $300. You don't want to go above that, and make sure you're paying it off in full every month. Number 5 is to limit requests on your credit. The more requests you have, the more hard requests on your credit, like for new credit cards or different loans, the more of an impact it might have on your credit, as we discussed before. So you want to try to limit those inquiries as much as possible. Basically, use what you got until your credit score has improved. Stop trying to get new things. Number 6 is to consolidate your debt. I did this when I had student loans. I had 12 student loans, $210,000 worth, all varying rates, all different payment dates. It was absolutely insane. I consolidated them into one loan, one rate, one payment date, and it just made it easier. And that's what will happen when you consolidate. You'll have one mountain to climb instead of 12. And by the way, some consolidation programs that are out there or companies that offer this might be able to not only consolidate, but help you reduce your rates and negotiate with creditors. So it's something to look into, especially if you're struggling with debt. And number 7 is to use credit monitoring to track your score. Like I said before, if I was trying to reduce my expenses, I would absolutely need a budget to be able to track everything and manage my money. So if you're trying to increase your credit score and improve it, you've got to know what's going on and track it. So I said before, I would tell you exactly how to find your credit report. Now, this is different from your credit score. If you have a credit card like a Discover card or Chase or Amex, they give you your credit score. But what is the underlying information? That's the credit report that you want to be able to review. And federal law requires that the credit reporting bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, all give you a report every year for free. All you need to do is go to annualcreditreport.com and download your credit report for free from all agencies. If you go to government websites and you just search for download my credit report for free, you'll see that they direct you to this annualcreditreport.com. So it's not just like a rogue random website. I've done it before. It's super helpful. And look, if you're struggling with debt and your credit score is low, I hear you. I've been there. I've dealt with this. I had over $210,000 of student loans when I graduated law school, and it sucks. But go check out your credit report. Go look at what's on there, and then maybe watch this video back again. Maybe do it at like 1.25 or 1.5 speed, so you just get through it a little bit faster. But these are universal tips. These are going to help you paying off things on time, reducing your utilization. I'm telling you from personal experience that these will help. It just requires a little bit of discipline. It requires a little bit of knowledge and execution on your part. So good luck. If you like this video or you know somebody that's in debt, please go and share this with them. And if this really helped you, please subscribe and leave me a comment below. Would love to hear from you. Tell me what you want to know next. Let me know your questions in the comments. And remember to be smart out there. The decisions you make today are going to make you rich tomorrow. I know it, especially if you're here with me watching this every week. Be smart out there. See you next week.